Let's fix the lag. Okay, got that. What up, Dota? Okay, let's hear it. Do I test stuff? Yeah, check this out. ZFFI, Vim, whoops, Vim, source. I do a lot of functional tests and property testing. So I use fast check a lot. So I think I have like 100 some tests in this repo, but I get like close to 10,000 assertions because of using property/fuzz testing. How would you write these tests in a functional language? Let me open this up. REPL tests. So what are we testing here? Jar text. Main produces text output. Let's see here. Well, the nice thing about functional programming, right, is that we get the benefit that the majority of our functions are pure, so we don't have to do things like a ton of mocking. I think mocking in general is not really valuable. I think a better approach would just be like dependency injection with a test implementation. And nothing in functional programming stops you from doing that. Line 346. Can insert multiple rows and select inserted rows. See, I don't think this is like super valuable. I don't think this is a valuable test really at all. I see what you're doing, but I think when you get into faking so much under the covers, you end up just testing your capability of writing mocks rather than the full system. Like, I think this should be an integration test rather than testing mocks. Although I might not fully understand what's going on here either. REPL takes a right line wrapper retrieval. So the fake is just stubbed in it for speed, no other reason. So is this actually hitting this database.txt file? Yeah, I don't think, in general, I don't think a test in functional programming would look all that different, right? You would just create your REPL, pass it around, and basically do the same thing. I am a monster. What up, Nyx in Nightshade? Line 475, let me go back quick. Let's see here. Can create table and exit and still select table. So nothing in functional programming is stopping you from writing tests like this, but my concern, I don't know what .t files are, Nix. I don't know what REPL's doing under the covers and how much work these fake things are abstracting. Because like if these mocks are simply just taking this command and then spitting it back out under the covers, then this test is just essentially testing how well you wrote your mock implementation. And like you already have your type system to tell you that these functions are going to take and give you back what you say type wise. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, honestly, I would probably just. I don't think there's a ton of value in the unit tests. I would probably just write full blown integration tests in this case because you're in a position where you're getting some test coverage over like some of this logic, but it's unreliable because this has such important dependencies on your database file handler. Like I would be, if I were going to test this, I would be doing an integration test where I'm actually writing to SQLite or getting standard out back out and asserting on all of that rather than doing anything with mocks. I generally don't like tests with mocks. I think they don't generally add a ton of value and you spend a ton of time working on them. That would be just kind of my take. Just got my ass fired today. Didn't even need to quit on my own. Oh no, Pedro. What happened? So I don't know if I agree with the speed thing, right? Like, because you can still just have your integration tests run in CI/CD or run them on command. I would argue that they hurt your speed because they're going to slow you down. Like, I don't think, yeah, I don't know. No, yeah, I totally agree, but that might just be the price you have to pay. All right, let's see here. This is my config session. So let's go to here. And what are we gonna, we're gonna work on starting our rewrite to Mint T today. Which I think we're actually gonna go watch my talk with Leandro. Just to brush up on how he talked about all this. Yeah, no problem, Dota. Yeah, like I said, I think there's some decent test coverage over the internals of the REPL, but I think it would be possible to get false confidence from tests like that, just because of the heavy reliance on the mocks or spies. I'd rather have slower tests that give me more confidence in my software, and honestly, it would probably take less time to write integration tests than write a bunch of mocks and maintain all that, because you have to think about like, what does my mock have to do at the simplest level, and then go re-implement everything. That's generally true. But you could also like, I mean, just like object-oriented programming, right? Like we can use interfaces and provide like test hubs if we really need to. But yeah, generally it's less of a problem. Okay, so we need a new session. How do I do this? Session. New session. And then what is it? Dash N? I don't even remember how to do this. Create melange app. That was not it. Well, let's check for updates while we're doing this. In fact, I have a test I can show you with side effects. In CM Griffing's project where I'm building the OCaml client. Client. So this test case here is a full-blown network request. So we come in here, we we make a new client, which is just up here. We get a, I don't know if my LSP is gonna work, it's not, but we get a client back. So we just call vexil and make client, and we come down here, we call sync manifest, which is actually gonna do a network call. In the background, this also spins up a test server, and then we make a call to it, and we just assert against it, and bada bing, bada boom. I don't know. We're going to tmux new session. We're going to say this is create melange app. And then we're going to go to create melange app. Get status. What do we got going on here? Why do we have a new file there? Okay, yeah, I get it. Oh my god, no modules. Where is the file that we were just... It said we had a new file, right? I'm not crazy. Morning, Trash Puppy. I think Kenzie Dodds has some really good takes on this Dota. He has this thing that he calls the testing pyramid, or the testing trophy. And his views on testing largely match mine. The classic tweet, write tests, not too many, mostly integration. So he has got a bunch of really good content. Yeah, I think you get the most bang for your buck spending your time on integration tests. I think unit tests are worthwhile for business critical pure functions, and yeah, that's my take. I don't think there has to be a huge difference in approach to testing between functional and OOP. I don't think it's that different when it comes to testing. There might be like more ceremony. Like you might need to use like a dependency injection framework to get, everything bootstrapped easier with OOP, but I still think you should be largely writing integration tests without mocks. I mean, we have dependency injection. I would argue all of functional programming is dependency injection, right? We're just passing our dependencies through function calls. Allo, yeah, I would say integration is more important than unit tests. And really, the place where I actually think you get the most value for testing is writing integration tests, or actually really end-to-end tests at the on the API surface of whatever you're doing that's exposed. Like, don't worry about testing the internal details. Like, if you have a REST API server, like, write tests against the full flow of the server and make sure each of your endpoints does what it should from the outside. And if those tests pass, like, you have working software. Yeah, I fundamentally disagree that unit tests would be more valuable than integration tests at like a foundational level. There we go. We can delete that. Right. Okay. Where do we have package json.lock? Yeah, I mean, my take is I'm not going to write tests on what you were testing there. I'm just going to write an integration test like I showed you for Vexilla. If it's a really, really important, piece of code, like maybe I'll write a unit test for it, especially if it's pure. Um, but I'm generally not going to write any sort of test where I have to write mocks or stubs. Not always. But then, yeah, like, I don't know. I just don't think they're valuable. In my 10 years of experience, I've never had a test that included mocks catch something that, the type system wasn't already catching or things of that nature. I end up, the teams I've been on and myself end up spending a ton of time on maintaining unit tests with mocks and stubs, but I've never really seen the payoff. So let's make a new branch. Mint T rewrite. Boom. Foundation started. And we're going to go watch part of my VOD from when Leo was on. Where do I go here? When did we have Leandro on? Where do I... This is so hard to get around. I'm sure it's on YouTube then. That should be on my YouTube. Dan Grep. If you go to... Let me see if I can get a link. What up, Glitchbite? How was your stream? Yeah, here's this playlist right here. Should have the first two videos. But we want to go find the video with Leandro. What day was that? It was like this day? No. Is it unlisted? Here we go. I don't think this is the full clip. What day was this? Contractors will be here at 9. Ah, shit. We're going to have to wrap up stream early today, chat. So maybe rather than diving in the weeds on the Mint-T rewrite, we just be productive and actually write some code for FFI. Yeah, no problem, Dota. Let's see here. Here. All right, so we're gonna try to do let me change the title of the stream, and this is gonna be, well, it's kind of supporting the same thing, whatever. So we're gonna try to add pipes to our API for Melange FFI, and we're going to copy how Tech Savvy Travy did this, or at least try to, or take some inspiration. So how did he write these types? So it's some object that has an underlying value, 2-tap exec. Ah, clever. Those are nice to have. I actually don't know how any of those work. What's your secret to staying so focused? ADHD medication and streaming. Sorry, Lee, I don't know how to say your name. Liu. I use the Capuchin theme in Chrome. I pretty much use Capuchin everywhere. So I'm thinking we want some API where we can call result.pipe, right? So we would want something like, let's just come down here. We would want like result.pipe, or maybe chain. I don't know. What do you guys prefer, pipe or chain? And then this would take a result, and then we could do things like, you know, dot map. Actually, Copilot was going to get us there. Map some function, or then function, and then we can be like dot map error. And then we could be like, he says exec, but we could say like value or unchain, or we could keep it lazy like he does and call exec pipe. So the other thing we have to decide is, do we want it to be lazy? Probably not, because that's, well, I don't know. Should it be lazy? Making it not lazy makes it a lot easier because we don't have to maintain like a queue. Something like that, and that would give us a result back, right? And how much does perf matter? Not a ton, most likely, because we're just using this as tiny FFI layers. I kind of had this implemented before. Let's think on that. We have some other functions we can implement first. In our function, I want to add these functions right here. So let's start with flip. This will be function flip, and this will be a function. What does the OCaml doc say? Does it just take a function of an arity of 2? Does it constrain it on that? Yeah, it does. Of a binary function. Chat, I will be right back real quick. Gotta go take care of something. Yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, y'all. And I apologize that this is going to be a short stream today. I keep forgetting to set my alarm to 6 a.m. instead of 6:45, so I've been waking up late. And today we have contractors coming at 9, which they didn't tell us that they were coming today. We knew they might, but they didn't give us a for sure time. So, keyboard, what is it? What up, Panini? All right, so we have a binary function, right? So we're gonna take an A, a B, and we're gonna return a C. First will be A, second will be a B, and we're gonna return, we need a C. Maybe we should do the classic convention. Return R. And then we're just gonna call, we need a function. Right. We need another function inside here. Yeah, I used glorious pandas. So this will be a function that will be, I don't know if we need the types here. We do need an R. And this will take their own. And this will be first T, second U, and it will return an R, and this will return an R. Something like this. Did we get that right? I don't think I got that right. Do I have diagnostics off? I do. So we can return as R. There we go. So then we take we return a new function, right? That's not what we actually return. So we say we're going to return a function that takes first will be U, second will be T, and that will return an R. So we would return I've been really digging the space keys deleter key Vim. Oh, nice. Yeah, that was like one of the first things I did. It was a huge payoff in my opinion. Is this how we really want to type this? That seems right, right? And oil is chef's kiss. Yeah, that's exactly it too, Panini. That's why I could not find a good file tree. So I came from using VS Code like almost 2 years ago now, and I've always just kind of left a file tree open on the left side, and then like I realized I don't really use my file tree for anything other than like exploration of a project. And when I moved to NeoVim, like using Telescope got me a lot of the way there. And I just realized that was just taking up space. It crashed pretty commonly on updates. Or not crash, but like I would get breaking changes. It just, like you said, it felt clunky. The keybinds didn't work well. The previews didn't work well. And I finally found Oil. Like I was on the verge of just writing a bunch of custom stuff in Lua to work with NetRW. And then I found Oil and it did everything I wanted. And I was like, okay, Oil it is. All right. So I guess this needs to get moved back up here. And this will be T, U, R. We can get rid of these. Now, is this what we actually wanted to do? I think it is, right? So we're going to take some function that takes an argument, like a binary set of arguments, returns an R, and then we're going to return a function where the first is the U. Maybe we make this more clear. We say T1, let's just rename this, T1, and this is going to be T2. Yeah, that's a little bit more clear. No, I use Telescope a lot. The way I navigate around is a combination of 3 plugins. I use Oil for discovery and just like searching, like if I want to get familiar with a code base, I'll use Oil. Or if I need to do like add files, delete files, copy files, move files, I use Oil, right? If I'm looking for a specific file, I'm using Telescope with the fuzzy finder. If I want to just like look at my currently open buffers, I'll do this. And then I also will use Harpoon for like the specific set of files I'm working on. So that's kind of how I navigate around. So we have flip. Yeah, so I think this is right. So let's write a JS doc for this. Okay, whoops, that was actually pretty good. Can it Sure. We can probably take some of the language versus the arguments to a binary function. We'll give an example here too, because this is not like a super common thing. Of a binary function. Let's give an example here. So we can copy this. Actually, we can copy all of that. And we'll throw that in right there. And this will be const add. This is not a curried add anymore. Yeah, Kyle, take some notes and switch over to NeoVim now. I feel like I need a better example. Let's ask ChatGPT to come up with it. Can you come up with a practical example of how and when flip is used? This will be used as an example in ODoc for OCaml. Hi Alice, how are you today? I mentioned already, y'all, but this is going to be a short stream today because I got to get my office condensed for contractors to come work. But I'll be hanging out on other people's streams all day. Oh, that is a good example. Also, thank you for the follow, Wild and Sav. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Come up with another example. Only show the code. Yeah, that's actually a decent example. So let's do that. We'll say const concat with separator, and we'll give this a name. This will be separator for second, and then oh wait, it has to be a, that's not a good example actually. We'll just use the first one. Fixed number. What do we want to say here? Sure. In fact, we could do const numerator. Oh, I'm sure I've got typos. Denominator. Wait, where is it? Oh, is it this one? Yeah, it's that one. And we'll just say divide. And then we have this one. That'll be 5 when it's flipped. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and add this to our export. And because this stupid bundling tool we're using can't just pass through JS docs, we gotta copy that and keep it in sync. So we've got flip done. We'll do identity. Identity is really easy. Yep. Perfect. Dogs incoming. Oh boy, chat. Good morning, Winnie. Good morning, Bodhi. Good morning. Good morning, Balka. I'm gonna wrap up probably in 15 minutes, and you help me pull everything in the middle of the office.
Yeah, you don't think he's gonna end up being here early like he always is?
That's why I was gonna wrap up at 45.
Okay.
Worst case, they wait for us to move stuff because they told us 9. Sound good?
Yeah.
Or I'll just do it myself.
Okay, great.
And let's see how we do. Constant. Is that right? This would be right? That would be the right function. In fact, we can move this up here, put that there, yank inside there, put that. Oh god, that's not what I wanted. There. And do we need this, or will it get inferred from the return? Yeah, okay. Rocking the McLaren hat, let's go. Hell yeah. You a F1 fan, Flappy? Those are some gorgeous dogs. Thank you, RJ. Creates a function that always returns the same value. I'm a Mercedes fan. I would rather say a Russell fan. Nice. Nice, nice. Did you watch the Braun GP documentary on Hulu about how that team and Mercedes got started and all that? It's so good if you haven't. Like, it's 4 1-hour episodes, and like, I think you could show that documentary. Oh, you know, do you have Disney Plus by chance? Because I think it's on Disney Plus outside of the States. So yeah, okay. Outside of the United States, I think it's broadcast on Disney Plus. Run GP documentary. It's so good. Keanu Reeves narrates it, and like Keanu's a huge F1 fan, like a genuine F1 fan, and has been for years. And like it's so cool to see Keanu interview legends in F1. He's like a little kid in a candy shop. Yeah, I think you could show this documentary to someone who does not give a single shit about racing, and they would really enjoy it. One, enjoy the documentary, and two, probably become F1 fans. It's so good. The storytelling, Keanu does well. Yeah, I really recommend this to everybody. Have I watched Ford vs Ferrari? Yeah, I watched Ford vs Ferrari. Ford vs Ferrari was also very good. Let's just have ChatGPT write the JS doc for this. Please write JS docs in the fashion of the existing JS docs for constant. I like F1, they turn right too. They do turn right too. Hamilton's a good racer. So yoink that, come down here, give our users some good documentation, throw that in. That's probably too much. Probably doesn't need to be this. It's a function which is probably don't need that. Probably don't need this. Cool. Okay, you can just do that. Great, and then we'll yoink this. Come down here and we'll put in constant. Throw in the JS doc there. Ferrari does not dominate right now. Ferrari has two very good drivers, but the team, the leadership at Ferrari is piss poor right now. Yeah, their strategy and they mostly lose races because of strategy. They even have like a half decent car. Like I'd say they have a better car than they probably the past few years they've had the second best car on the grid for most of the season. McLaren might have got there at the end of the last year, but the strategy team at Ferrari is just absolute dog water. Speaking of a Ferrari fan.
Listen.
What?
Listen. I like getting my feelings hurt, okay?
You don't want your feelings hurt? Alright, we won't make fun of you.
No, I said I like getting my feelings hurt.
Oh,
That's
you
why I'm a
like
Ferrari
getting...
fan. You know?
Now write it for tap.
Baxter also came to say hello.
Oh, this should probably also...
Okay, 6.
Good morning, Baxter. Should we have an async tap and a tap, or just one tap? Is there a way to tell if a function returns a promise? I guess we could always wrap it, right? We should probably have tap and async tap. Yeah. let's not try to be clever and. Well, actually, I'm actually curious how Travis is figuring out whether something is asynchronous or not. Because he probably passes in. This is probably, you can probably test if this is eventable. Oh, clever. Is that true? Async function fun return promise dot resolve. I'll just say one. Fun dot constructor dot name. Ah, look at that, chat. We might be able to take advantage of that. Crying on Sunday is a Ferrari fan habit, unfortunately. It's true.
Can't confirm.
Justine says she can confirm. All right, chat. Let's try to implement this real quick, and then we got to wrap up, unfortunately. I might stream later today once the contractors leave. DevDad's still going. We could raid DevDad. Let's raid DevDad. We don't get many opportunities to raid DevDad. In fact, we're just going to do it now because I don't know how much longer he's going, and we need to show our appreciation to DevDad.
You can stream from my office today. I won't really be here.
We'll see. It's hard to get OBS set up for different monitors.
Never mind.
All right, chat. We'll be back either later today, potentially, or tomorrow morning. Sorry for the short stream, but I appreciate all of you. Thank you for the new follows, and we'll be I'll be hanging out around Twitch streams all day. So I'll see y'all around. Go give DevDad some love, and make sure you follow him if you don't already, because he's the reason I started streaming.